Greetings, travelers. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kahi.
And we're the Genshin guys. Welcome all. This podcast is for fans of Genshin Impact, the mobile game made by Hoyoverse, also known as miHoYo. Here we talk about our opinions, experiences, and dreams about Genshin Impact. If you like our show, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Okay, before we get started, Kahi, how have you been this week? How are you doing today?
I got a really good sleep the other night. So you ever had like one of those sleeps where you get up and like half your brain is still like dormant, but you still feel refreshed?
Yeah.
You got enough sleep. You have all your energy ready, but you like, you know what? I could still lay here. Yeah, this would be nice. But yeah, you just got to get up anyways. It's been a while since I had one of those sleeps. I have been actually on a caffeine detox for like a couple months, and it's been
really
good.
Months?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't had caffeine at all, and it's been great. Yeah, it's
the
don't
thing tell me that. I
mean, caffeine's great and all, but still, I mean, it doesn't beat like having an actual amount of energy. So I've been having like
so you don't have
in the
caffeinated
morning.
tea either?
Nope, no caffeine.
Oh,
and I have noticed a major change. I think when I was having caffeine a lot, even like some slight caffeine in the evenings, like for like evening tea, just that extra bit of caffeine makes my mind a little bit more active. So it makes me fall asleep. It takes a longer time to fall asleep. I can fall asleep quicker now. Also, I've been able to have more coherent and memorable dreams. So that is a noticeable difference. So before, I was like, it was either really brief or I can't remember a thing or like a one little detail. And now it's a little bit more vivid. Not vivid, I would say, but more memorable. It's like I can prominently feel it. So I would recommend it, but not everyone has the ability to just have like certain like breakfasts that give them enough energy throughout the day. But I really don't feel like I need it now. So that's a big
awesome,
change.
Man.
Yeah. What about you? How have you been?
So, I say as I sip a Monster. I'm just kidding. No, I've been good. Mostly, it started my new job, just working through it, and hopefully, some positive things are to come. And just playing different games here and there.
You still playing Grand Blue?
So Grand Blue, the fighting game, or Relink?
Either one. I think the fighting game is the most current one, right?
No, so the Relink actually came out a little after.
Oh, Relink was after. Okay.
But like I play both. I've been like switching between Grand Blue weeks and Tekken weeks. So I've been playing both of those. I'm really, really enjoying both of them. And so I recently got Grand Blue Relink on PC. My friend actually gifted it to me so that I could play it. Because everybody freaking has it on PC and I have a PlayStation, and it really sucks because there's a bunch of new content coming out, and I put less than 50 hours into the PlayStation version, so I was like, fine, I'll just start over. I have my PlayStation version with characters sitting at level 100 if I want to do some of the later game stuff, but I didn't do the really end game farming yet on that account yet though, but I'm just gonna start focusing on PC. And that way maybe I can play it. And in the future, if there's crossplay, there's crossplay. But if there's not, then I don't have to worry, because literally like 99% of my friends that I know that have it play it on PC. So I'm excited. I'm doing that over. I've been speeding through story because I'm skipping all the cutscenes, which is like most of the story time. And I'm just enjoying it. I love Grand Blue Relink. And and I've been playing a bunch of different gacha games and stuff. I don't know. I love gacha games. Like, I know it's like a thing. Like, the gambling thing is a thing. Like, people are like worried about like starting gacha games because they're gonna like spend money on the gacha. But if you go into a gacha game specifically with the intention of like playing it a certain way, it definitely is a different experience than like a game like Genshin, where I didn't go into Genshin that way. And then as I got more into Genshin, I was like, okay, because of how much time I was spending on the game, I was like, okay, I can spend some money on it. And then that led to like the gacha part of it. But these other games, like I'm just playing them for the story or like for the gameplay or whatever, or just to collect stuff. And it's really nice because I love comparing gacha games and what makes them unique versus the other kinds of gacha games. And then, I'll drop them after a while or whatever sometimes, and that's fine. I mean, I enjoy doing that, honestly. So, but other than that, I've been playing, Helldivers.
Dun, dun,
and
dun, dun.
the fighting game. Yeah, we gotta play more Helldivers, by the way.
It's so fun.
So yeah, so I've just been doing that. That's pretty much it. I've been focusing on that. So yeah, let's get started with today's topics. We're gonna talk about our weeks in Genshin, Genshin news. We're gonna talk about Chiori's story quest. Okay, so if you haven't done that yet, please go do it before you listen to the rest of the episode, because it is a big part of this episode. The other thing we're gonna talk about is Chiori's impressions as an actual character, so like how she is in combat and things like that. Then we're gonna talk about our community discussion questions. So, well, we asked you last week. We're gonna read some of your answers off, and then one last wish. Okay, so join the Discord. If you haven't already, guys, if you want to engage in more discussion, you want to talk with us more, or even play co-op games with us sometimes, as well as if you live in Los Angeles or Southern California area, join my meetup group. The link is in the description. The Discord link is also in the description, by the way. And if you want to support the podcast, please consider donating to the Ko-Fi. Link also in the description. All right, let's move on to our weeks in Genshin. Okay, Kahi, how has your week in Genshin Impact been?
Pretty short. Definitely did the story for Chiori. Tried her out. We'll talk about that in a second. But as far as like what I've been doing outside of that, I have been just farming artifacts like the Marshal's Hunter set, because I mean, well, last week I was talking about I have not seen any kind of like hint or leak about Arlecchino, and I'm like, I don't know if she's going to be available this time because of what happened to the last Harbinger that we really wanted to get, and 3 years went by and then she just suddenly died. Oh, then suddenly, like right after that, we had Arlecchino's drip marketing come out.
Literally the day after we recorded that.
So I'm like, okay, well, she's a thing. She's here. She's real.
Before Sigewinne or Clarande.
Which is interesting. Well, I mean, Arlecchino did show up first. She did actually make an appearance first, so I mean, it would make sense. But we didn't see Chiori at all until later, and then she came out before the other one. So it's just kind of weird timing. But I don't know, like, if she's gonna. Okay, obviously she has to be really important into like the next story patch, which is odd that she didn't have more of a prominent, like, I guess, story position in the 4.1, 4.2, because like the whole thing wrapped up at 4.2, and then Arlecchino was just sitting there, intimidating Furina. So like, what is her, new story going to be like? Is it going to be focused on her? Right. Is it going to be Archon kind of like midway story kind of thing? But yeah, I'm trying to farm at least something for her. I don't know what kind of material she needs. I don't know what weapon she's going to use. Hopefully it's a sword, but I don't know. If it'll be a claymore, I'd be like really, really impressed. I don't know. What do you think her weapon's gonna be? I don't know.
The sword or polearm. At this point, it's like there's like a 60 to 70% chance it's one of those two.
Yeah, with the claws, sharp things, and everything. I don't know. But yeah, just trying to find something.
Oh, she has sharp heels. I know. I remember like we were talking about her picture. Like, oh, her heels are gonna be her weapon. It's like, sure.
Okay, right. If she does a lot of kick moves like Hazel, that'll be cool. That'll be crazy. But she has to use like some kind of melee attack, because I mean that was her thing during the Archon story, where she tried to jump Furina, and then she had the claws. That was like her altar outfit. But yeah, either way, I'm just trying to farm something for her, trying to get her a good set. I have a lot of artifacts from the previous sets, especially for like Pyro, because she's confirmed Pyro now, which is awesome. But yeah, I don't know what else I gotta farm for her. I don't know what her materials are, so I'm just doing that. Because I mean, I'm also using whatever artifacts I get to infuse Noelle's new artifact set. What is it? The shell, the hued clam shell, or is it I forget what the set was, but it gives like a 30% defense bonus, like defense and geo attack bonus.
Retracing Bolide?
No. It's a newer one. It's from the newest. Let me see.
What are you talking about?
It's
the Navia one?
Yeah, the one for Navia.
Oh.
That one. I'm looking at the name right now because I didn't get too many. I actually pulled that from the artifact table or the alchemy table. Hold on. Where is Noelle? Artifacts. Okay, the Husk of Opulent Dreams.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's from. Oh no, that's from Inazuma. Because the other one in that same domain was the clamshell for healing.
Right.
Yeah. So pretty much just hunting artifacts. Anything you've been up to? Anything you're farming for?
So I just want to say like that I was very sad because I got on and I had this plan to like play Chiori, and I was gonna do a bunch of co-op and like level her up and like all this stuff, and I was very close to my pity on my NA account, and because I'm not rolling for her on my Asia account, I'm rolling for her on my NA account, and so I got to like 70 pity, dude. Like with what I had saved up, I got to 70 pity, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like do a bunch of stuff in the game to get primo gems. So I did, you know, those like domains that you can do that are just like one time kind of domains, and they have like 40 primo gems. I did a bunch of those. I did Spiral Abyss on my NA account, which I'd never done up until like I had only gotten up to floor 4 where you get like the free Kale or something. And then I just never touched it because my account was like such a low level. The first time I go in, I clear Spiral Abyss all the way up to floor 11. So I've cleared up to 10. And I didn't clear 11 because my account is too weak. I tried it. And I got all the primo gems from that. And it basically got me to like 79, 80 pity. I did some exploration as well. And I got to 80 pity. And I finally got a 5-star on 80 pity. And it was freaking Diluc, dude.
No.
And the worst part is I was saying how like, okay, well, the two of the strongest characters on my account right now are Yoimiya and Dia. So I definitely don't need another fire character, another pyro character. And I literally would have been happy with any other standard banner character. Like literally any other one. Like Chi-Chi would have been nice. Like Jean would have been good. Like I have Kaching already, so like it would have been whatever, but at least I could have maybe justified using Kaching more. But like literally anybody else I would have been happy with. Another Dia, a Tanari, but no, it was Diluc, the one character I did not want from the standard banner. And I was so sad. So hopefully today on the last wish, I'm currently at like 5 pity. I've been doing the event. Maybe I'm at like 10 pity, I guess. I've been doing the event to get primo gems, the potion event, which we'll talk about next week. And I'm really, really trying to get her on this account. I originally wanted to see if I could go for C1 because then you don't need like a geo construct to use her or whatever. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, anyway. Looks like it's going to be really tough. So we'll see what happens today. And yeah, I'm really sad because I haven't done anything. So I've just been doing story. I was rushing story in preparation for her banner. Like I'm halfway through the Archon quest for Genshin right now. I just did the prison. So I'm almost there.
Cool.
But like I need to catch up my NA account. So I have so much to do. I have so much exploration. I have so many quests. So that's what I'm mainly focusing on right now. And putting my Asia account a little bit on the back burner. But yeah, I want my NA account to be caught up sooner, and so I can roll as many times as I can before this banner ends. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been working on, and hopefully we'll get somewhere today at some point. But yeah, that's my week in Genshin, and it was like it's one of those weeks. So all right, so let's move on to our next topic, Genshin news. So Kahi, would you take the Genshin news today?
All right, so as we briefly mentioned before, or as I briefly mentioned before, we have Drip Marketing, which is the official artwork for Arlecchino's character. And yes, I am now saving every bit of primo gems I can muster for Arlecchino. He'll coming out potentially next patch. We also have birthdays, which is Jean on the 13th of March. We also have the White Day art, which is Enjo, which, if people who don't know Enjo is a Pyro Abyss Herald that we met in Enkanomiya that actually kind of helped us out and had a really interesting, personality. It doesn't seem like very evil, but just like very kind of like anti-hero-ish. But apparently just likes our character. So we have Enjo, and also we have Jet. Officially peeking from behind her mask, which is confirmed canonically. She has a golden eye. We didn't see her other eye, but she has golden eyes, kind of like how Candace has one golden eye and she has like a blue eye. So maybe there is more to her story than we thought before. But kind of going on the other route, something a little bit more somber, a little bit more sad news. We unfortunately had a passing away of the Korean voice actor for Sino on March 16th. which is, oh, actually, no, this is the article that I was reading was March 16th, but he passed away. His real name was Lee Jin-hee. He was only 24, dude. 24.
So freaking young.
That's way too young. He became a voice actor at 21. And it's interesting
they
that
didn't say why, right?
No, it's undisclosed. So they know, but undisclosed. So the family's gonna have like a private viewing, not gonna be for public. So yeah, just send your condolences, but try to give the family their space. It's sad, but he was like the youngest male professional voice actor, I think, in Korea. I don't know if it counts for like the whole industry, but that's still young.
Not the whole industry, but yeah.
But dang, 24. He is way too young. But well, going in more uplifting news, we have the Genshin X Discovery event, which the webpage is now live. So on the webpage, you have the little task to take some pictures of some animals based on a riddle, which is pretty interesting. So you can go to that website if you want. The Genshin Twitter has like a link to it. I would say the link, but it's way too long. So it's on their Hoyoverse website. I think it's like part of the act.hoyoverse.com and a bunch of other sub URL text in there. We also have the more related to this, we have more merchandise coming out, but it's going to be releasing in April. So keep your eyes out for the official. Remember, Amazon has an official Genshin store. So it says from April onwards, 25 different Genshin Impact X Discovery collaboration merchandise products will gradually be made available for purchase in Genshin Impact's official Amazon flagship store. During the collaboration period, a portion of each merchandise sale on the official Amazon flagship store will be donated to the rainforest conservation organization called Cool Earth to help contribute to the protection of Earth's rainforest. So Josh, what kind of merchandise are we seeing here? Do you have that link I sent you?
Yeah. So there's the mouse pad, there's a badge. It's a lot of the theme is around the Kaveh. With his like outfit that you see him with, like the forest vest and shirt and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of chibi versions of the 5 guides that they had, which are like Tanari, Kokomi, Candice, Dia. Beidou. So Albedo, Beidou, Candice, Kokomi, and Tanari. And there's hangable acrylics, there's template badges, ornaments. But for the Kaveh, they have like the badge, the acrylic ornament, the acrylic stand, and the mouse. The mouse pad looks like the nicest thing, honestly. But yeah, then we have like a bunch of that little kind of merch that you would find at like the collab events typically. So cool.
All right, and that would wrap it up for our news for this week. We are going to be expecting a lot more news topics as we move along into this month, into April, as a new patch begins. Would you like to introduce our main topic for today?
Okay, so our main topic for today is Chiori's Story Quest. So, Chiori's Story Quest was, first of all, I think was super adorable. Okay, if you haven't finished it, again, warning, spoilers. So make sure you go finish it before you listen to the rest of this episode. But all right, let's get started. There's your warning. Now, so this story was essentially, it was really interesting. So it covers some themes of like cancel culture and what's the other thing? I
guess misinformation.
Misinformation, spread of misinformation,
malinformation, whatever you want to call it.
The other thing was the big thing was traditional. It reminded me of traditional Japanese culture, which is like just traditional culture and almost peer pressure in a way. Where so in the story, the quick summary of the story was she so Chiori was, her name was slandered by her competitor because her competitor is jealous of her. He did some things to try to get her behind, and then he ended up posting in the tabloids a story about how her business practices are unjust, and it causes her to lose a lot of business. And then so she and the traveler investigate, and they find that this guy is also doing a bunch of shady stuff. They get proof of it, and they do their own investigation. They help. Charlotte helps. All these characters help. So all the Fontaine characters that that were there were like, and also Kirara. So there was like
Navia
Charus,
too,
Linny,
yeah.
Lynette, Navia, Kirara was there, and basically like they were able to prove that this guy was, you know, lying first of all, and then also he has bad business practices, and all this was during Fashion Week. So it was the Fashion Week, which, you know, we have Fashion Weeks in real life as well, but it's an important time for fashion producers or artists to like share their new styles and things. It's really important for advertisement, for branding. And so he was trying to slander her during this week, but she was able to do like rush to fix all of it, but also present in Fashion Week, which we at the end got a really cool cutscene where Navia, Linny, Lynette, and Kirara were all wearing these like nice like sea themed outfits, and it was all in like one of those 2D style like drawing cutscenes, and super nice. And then Chiori comes in and does like this cool like little presentation. And it was a really nice overall event where like a lot of characters helped each other out, and there was a lot of interaction. And like I said, it tackled like real themes of like cancel culture and like people just like believing the spread of misinformation. And also, oh yeah, and the thing about traditional Japanese culture was that Chiori explained her backstory, where she grew up in Inazuma, and everybody in Inazuma, all the fashion industry people, just wanted her to do things the way things have always been done as per tradition. And whenever she wanted to break out of that and be creative, they would reprimand her. She would get negative feedback for it. And so she found herself without any friends, without any mentors, because nobody wanted to work with her. So she left and she went to Fontaine to start her own thing. And that's why Chiori is based in Fontaine. And the story is like that when she was trying to start her thing, this guy who was trying to slander her was her partner originally, but he gave up because he thought fashion was too hard and unfair. But she didn't give up and she kept going and she became successful. And so that's why he's jealous of her. So it was a really great story. I really liked the parts about like how her past, like her history, and how she like powers through a lot of this stuff. And of course, the favorite moment was that cutscene at the end where they show all the characters with costumes. And yeah, it was really nice. There was a lot of I'll scratch my back, you scratch yours. They said that so many times in this freaking event for some reason. But yeah, what were some highlights and things for you, Kahi?
I kind of like Kirara's part in this because she's the courier or the transporter of the goods that Chiori orders from all of her suppliers.
Yep.
And she gets kind of caught up in this whole feud between the two because the Uther sends some goons to kind of like disrupt the trade route, and then Navia starts to protect her with her goons with the Spina de Rusula. And you saw like a little picture. You saw like the little picture of Kirara like in her box form, just being escorted by all these guys. And like that's a pretty funny picture because they're like guarding this
just
cat.
Like chilling with the sunglasses.
That was cool. I like how this particular story has like a lot of these still images of like a scene instead of just the normal like animated character, because it, you know, when you see the animations in game, there's only like a certain amount of animations the characters are programmed to do. But when you get the 2D, they're very stiff and rigid, even though there's motion. Like it's just a looping motion that we've seen a lot. But the 2D still pictures, when they're doing the talking, does add more emotion because they can just draw what they want the character to feel like. They can draw the smile.
Oh yeah, when Chiori was like grabbing Uther by the freaking clothes.
Yep. I'm sure someone would love this kind of character and how the character kind of looks at the other bad guys. I'm sure there's people who like that kind of thing. But yeah. Anyways, I do like Kirara's small part in that. I do also like the moment where we see Chiori at the kind of like on that cliffside looking into the ocean, because I didn't know she had like a thing for like the ocean and water, because you know you'd expect a Geo character to be like the furthest thing away from water, but apparently she likes the sea. She likes the ocean.
Well, she grew up in Inazuma,
right,
which is surrounded by water.
It's like an island nation, but you can kind of see like more of her in-depth personality, the way she thinks, and a little bit of her vulnerabilities. You get to see her smile like there. But I think Chiori is a very interesting character because she's not very outgoing, but she's very like resolute. She has ambitions, right? She is willing to fight and like sacrifice things for it. I would say the one most memorable thing throughout this entire story was that we help her set up shop in the morning. Like, you put up all these mannequins and all the clothes, and then later on you are told by her to, okay, destroy it. We need the fabrics. We need the materials. And I'm like, wow, she is just instantly willing to like destroy all of her other hard work just so that she can make sure they don't get wasted and use it in her new works. Because remember, her supplies are cut off. All of her suppliers, based on those weird articles, are now pulling back their support. So now she's like, okay, I'm just gonna do everything myself. I'm gonna destroy all of my other works just so that I can make sure that I can do this new thing. So I thought that was a pretty interesting mindset, that she was able to just completely dismantle all of her previous hard work and effort, just for this kind of particular goal. Was there like a specific moment that made you really like Chiori, or was it just throughout the entire thing you just liked her more?
Yeah, I think that she just never backed down from her ideals. Like, it was very, like, you can tell she was struggling with what was happening, but she was like never planning on sacrificing. Like, she knew her limits and what she could do, and she would push them. And she was like, who said that I'm gonna figure this out and skip fashion week? Like, I'm gonna do both of those things, right? Like, I'm gonna, like, I can do it. And then, like, with everyone's help, she was able to do it. But yeah, she was just like really sticking to her ideals, and I think that was great. One funny moment that was like what you were mentioned, like when you were the one who like goes and rips up all of her clothes, and everyone comes in, they're like, who did this?
Tell me their names now.
Yeah, Navia's like, tell her her names, and they're like, we did it. And she's like, what? And then Kirara comes, Charlotte comes in, and she's like, who did this? And she's like, tell me their names, I'm gonna run their names in the newspaper, or whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, this again. But yeah, I forgot to mention Charlotte. But yeah, Charlotte is a huge part of this, as always. I was just thinking about, I was talking to today when I was playing the story quest, like, Charlotte is everywhere in Fontaine. She is so important to like the way things get done, because reputation is really important in Fontaine, and she runs the biggest form of reputation management, she's involved in like the biggest reputation management in the country, in the nation, which is
she wants to get everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, she's just super important. Like, in every story so far has had to do with like public opinion and stuff. This is like Fontaine's thing, right? Like,
she's been involved in every patch story, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the thing is, like, if you think about it, like, because Fontaine's theme is like how the people see you, right? Like, it's like that relationship of the public opinion versus like your individual desire and how it affects you. And the newspaper being the biggest source of media in this country, in this nation, it's like, it shows like how Charlotte is involved in every story in some capacity, like how important that is. And it just fits along with the theme, like Charlotte, the fact that we got introduced to Charlotte before we got here, and the fact that Charlotte is in everything after we got here, like, she's super important. And I'm glad she's a 4-star, because it's easier to get her. But in general, I mean, not really, but you know how it is.
Constellations, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that. I liked a lot about it.
So overall, yeah, Chiori is a very interesting character. She's not very expressive, but has very good spoken lines. You can tell, like, if you like just read it out on paper, you can kind of glean her personality already. A lot of other characters are very colorful or very expressive, or very like whimsical, but Chiori's more calm and collected, so I do appreciate that. It's a good break from all the other like hyper characters that we get, or some like over the top characters. It's the complete opposite of Ito, even though Ito is like on the same phase as her, so kind of a good balance.
Right?
Yeah, I like your style. I do. As far as like I'm not planning on rolling for her after this story, but I mean, there were other characters in the past where, because of their story, I rolled for them. Like, I remember Shenhe, I remember Furina. I remember I wasn't really planning on getting the character until their stories, which don't get me wrong, this is a very compelling story. It's very relatable, but
yeah,
I think I'm good for now. I do want to wait for like the other characters and see how they're gonna act and what their story's about.
I mean, Arlecchino is coming.
Clarande, I might get tempted again.
Oh, true. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for Chiori's story. Let us know what you think in the Discord, in the comments, because yeah, we're curious. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Chiori's combat kit and the way she plays. So, there's a couple of different things that stick out about Chiori. I mean, first of all, I think some of us thought going into this that she was going to be a main DPS, so she would just be on the field doing a bunch of damage. She has 2 swords after all, but no, her main thing, a lot of her, when it comes to seeing where her damage comes from, a lot of it comes from the dolls that she summons. Okay, so, and, for those of you that haven't really experimented with her yet, the short version is when she does her elemental skill and there's a geo construct on the field, then she creates a second doll that stays out passively and it attacks things. It's not considered a geo construct. It floats in the air, and every 3.5 seconds, something like that, it like does a geo slash across an enemy. Kind of like Raiden's
little smaller
thing.
A little smaller.
Range. It gets bigger with the constellations, but it is small, and it does have a limited range. So, so there's a couple things. Is that she can infuse her attacks with Geo, but she also has the ability, when she does her skill, to switch to another character, the next character in the party. So this is a really interesting mechanic. We talked about it before, how like switching to another character is not a huge thing that's been used recently. In general, like we have like maybe Candace is like one of the only characters that like has a switch characters type deal. Obviously we have things like Thrilling Tales, because like you switch to another character. So I mean, obviously those are things that are revolving around you playing as a party of people. But if you go into co-op, you can't do that. Right? So so there's a caveat to it. So it only really can work in certain situations. But also, if you plunge after doing an attack with switching to another character, it does give an extra effect. I think one of her passive abilities. So there's a lot of different things about her. So Kahi, what's like now that she's like out and you can do her trial, like what are some things that you notice or that stick out to you?
Well, the most common thing you do with a character is their skill. So the skill for Chiori is interesting. There's a lot of different ways you can use it. You can either tap it, you can hold it. You can also aim it upwards, and then you can also do a diving, plunging attack. I think for me, the most noticeable feature about Chiori is her skill. When you hold it, you don't have to go into the air to switch the characters, because that's how it was showcased. So people thought like you had to just only do that, but it's a quicker way to switch. When you hold the skill button and you press the skill button again, then you switch to the next character in your roster. So the precise order and placement of your character lineup, that's what's going to determine who is next. So if you have Chiori, like if you your 4 characters in the layout here, if you have Chiori on the far left, if you put the character right next to Chiori in that lineup, that's the character you're going to be able to switch to. You can't control which character it switches to during combat, so you have to pick how you line them up. This is the only time that the lineup of your characters matters. Every other character has never involved themselves in the presentation or the lineup of your characters. The only time that matters isn't like, Honkai Star Rail. But this is the first time, something in like your menu will affect your gameplay, because maybe if I didn't have the character in a certain position, I don't get the right switch.
With the exception of like Spiral Abyss, because Spiral Abyss is like, you have to start with whatever character.
You can't switch
first.
at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's the only other time in Genshin that it matters. But other than that, there's no reason you would ever, like, it doesn't really matter what order you put people in, right? It's all preference.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I noticed right away, because when I was reading how the skill gets activated, so you press the skill button, you get to perform the slash, and then your character can switch. But then the infusion is like Kaching's infusion. It's only like temporary, like 5 seconds. So she's a mix of everything. She can support, she can be the main DPS if you want. She's sword. She has really good normal attacks. I do like it. Her final attack in that sequence is a really big, pretty heavy double slash. So it looks pretty powerful too. It's very interesting. I don't think she's underpowered. I don't think she's overpowered. She's very mid tier to me. I don't want to call her mid, but she's still good. I do like her skill when she does her slash after that effect. It's a very flashy. But what do you think?
Yeah, I like her burst, like how it like the whole screen gets filled with like a paper and then she cuts it.
Yep.
You know, like a fabric or whatever.
And the little smirk.
Yeah, and then she like does the thing. But I mean, yeah, she's niche. She's a Geo off-field sub DPS and stuff. You know what I mean? So like, it's not really like that she's good or bad. It's just that she only fits.
Yeah,
She
she
only
doesn't
fits
excel
well
at
and
anything.
to complement certain teams. And yeah, she doesn't necessarily excel in anything. I mean, she excels in off-field geo damage, which the only other person that does is Albedo, which is why they're compared so much.
Zhongli's pillar.
No, but that's not it. Like they don't compare. Like Zhongli's pillar does off-field geo damage, but Albedo is meant to do off-field geo damage. Like most of his damage comes from off-field geo damage, and Chiori's the same way. Like she doesn't need to be on the field to get most of her damage out. So the thing is, so there's a couple things, which is, so for her, like her and Albedo comparison, Albedo has a geo construct, which means it can be destroyed, right? Like it can be destroyed by the enemies. It can be destroyed by when you're trying to fight like the Oceanid. It doesn't, like, you can't make the flower on the water because the water's there, and you can't make the flower there. So like you can't use Albedo during that fight. And Chiori they don't count as geo constructs. The dolls just float. So she's usable in situations where Albedo isn't. And then the other thing is, and this is something that a lot of people think about, is like, oh man, this kind of sucks because it's locked behind her constellation 1. But if you get her first constellation, then she does not need a geo construct to activate the second doll. So that means that you can use her in more teams for her max geo damage without having to have a character that puts down a geo construct. For example, Navia. If you want Navia and Chiori on the same team, you might put something like Yunjin or Zhongli, or actually not even Zhongli, like Goro or whatever, and Farina maybe, but then you wouldn't have a geo construct, and you would now lose half of your DPS because one of your dolls being gone is a lot of damage lost. So having C1 allows you to make a team without a geo construct user and still get both dolls. That's huge. That like changes the kind of teams you can put her in. So that's like a big thing that, some people are talking about, is just like, if she had that, she'd be more flexible, but because it's locked behind C1, you have to invest to get the flexibility for her. Because right now, like I said, she's really niche because you need a geo construct creator. So like Geo Traveler or Ito or Zhongli. Like you need those kind of characters, or technically Ningguang and Albedo as well. But yeah, it's interesting. She's definitely interesting. Her playstyle feels really smooth. I like the way it feels, like Kaching style,
very quick,
and I'll hit themselves very
good
fast.
attacks.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously she's gonna be strong. While there's like Spiral Abyss stuff where like they get geo buffs or whatever. But yeah, the switching characters thing, it's kind of interesting. I don't know when I would use that. Maybe in the future if they have other characters that give us more things. But for now, I think I like just giving her Geo Infusion and try to play her as on-field DPS. But I don't have her yet, so I don't know. But I'm hoping in the future we'll get more characters, since we haven't had that many Geo characters in the past like 2 years basically. Hopefully there'll be more in the future, and we'll see where that goes. But I think she's fun. Let us know what you think. I mean, like, as far as what is like good about her, or what you like about her, or what you wish would be different, let us know in the Discord or in the comments. Okay, so let's do the next section, our next topic, which is the community question discussion. Okay, so last week's question was, what non-boss enemy would you want as a battle companion, and why? Who would you want, Kahi?
So I thought about this last week, and I thought of a few of the enemies we fight in the open world, and one of them that came to mind very quickly was the Mirror Maiden. So the Mirror Maiden is something that can actually lock down a character and just make them unable to move. And the other thing is she can do like pretty much, Kaching's ultimate like pretty frequently. So that's pretty much like she has a burst, and it does cover a wide area, and she can also like teleport away. So like if she can keep her distance really good, she can lock down people for like CC, crowd control, and she does like a wide area of damage. Doesn't have to be persistent because I'll be doing the persistent damage, but she can definitely help in a lot of situations. So even if like against another boss, because that her big mirror like laser ability can cover a pretty big space. So if it's a bigger enemy, it's pretty much guaranteed to hit, or just hit a bunch of enemies. So I think that would be a good companion. Did you have an idea of which one which non-boss enemy you would take into combat?
Yeah, I want the Sunny, like the new leeway, like
The
tiger thing.
tigers. Yeah.
Yeah. They just look cool. Oh, why not?
Too.
Like they're like the most pretty enemy I've seen in a while.
They have a lot
I
of
think
HP.
it'd be really cool. Yeah, I mean, why not? Like, also just let me ride one. Like, just meow. But yeah, so that's what I pick. It's like in my mind, it's like one of the coolest enemies aesthetically that we had in a while. Okay, so let's see what Discord is saying. So Wanderer says, I think I'd like the Anemo Hilichurl Rogue because it's attacks match Wanderers, and it would be so fun to have it attacking with Wind Blades and Wanderer attacking with Wind Blades. That makes sense, says, because this is Wanderer speaking.
Both be floating in the air.
Right, floating in the air too, why not? Sure. Pavo Noctua says, Rishoboland Tiger, because I want an emotional support attack kitty. That's a good one. Solido says, I would like a Rift Wolf. 2 enemies I have issues with sometimes are slimes and elemental shields, so a Rift Wolf could tear through both. Also, if PvP comes out, I'd be prepared for Zhongli meta. Oh my god, PvP in Genshin? No way, I don't think so.
I hope not.
Cloudy says, definitely an unusual Hilichurl since I like Hilichurls, and the unusual kind are just Hilichurls but lonely, so I feel like we'd get along. Also, why do I like Hilichurls? They remind me of a cult. I'm sane, I swear. Sure, more power to you. Raccoon Warlock. Hee, slime spamming would be so fun. Nice, simple. Insignia says, if I say Eremite Desert Clearwater, could I get Jet as a buddy? I feel like human enemies basically mean free friends, right? Then again, the new big cat enemy in Chenyu Vale seems like a fun companion as well. Yeah, there you go. No, you can't have Jet. That doesn't count. One Small V says, I think just a standard Hilichurl would be hysterical, especially if you could buff it with Bennett and Farina and shield it with Layla or Diona and infuse it with Chongyun. It would be like a silly challenge to kill a boss with only a standard Hilichurl pet that you have to babysit.
That's actually kind of funny.
That sounds hilarious. Man, the Pokemon aspect is real.
You know what it just reminds me of? Like, I used to do this. I'm pretty sure like so many people did this. In like old school Halo, I always
protecting a grunt.
Yeah, I always gave like the best weapons to them because they had infinite ammo with it, and I'm just watching them clear everything out.
The companions. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you give them the rocket launcher or something.
I just sit back and
or
let them clear
Spartan laser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like the fuel rod cannon, the rocket. So good.
Hazre says, I have the storm because I want to get it more representation in the same vein of the reason that goes to the Black Serpent Knight, the Rockbreaker Axe. Just a cool design stuck in Bloody Abyss. I don't do Abyss often, so I don't even have this enemy in my in-game archive. Wow. Yeah, I have the storm kind of just like this random enemy that we never got other versions of. Right? Like
I'm
in Mondstadt.
Shocked. Yeah, there's only the one version.
Yeah. So, well, who knows? And then Black Serpent Knights, yeah, they're pretty restricted in terms of where they are, but they are very cool designs. But we may see more of them in the future because they're Conrian soldiers, so, we might see them.
They're still in the Abyss. I mean, they still come up in,
they're in the Abyss
floors.
But, this is the Abyss, so, blah. What's it called? Okay, that's it for Discord. Kahi, what do we have on Spotify?
Just a few. We have Octira, who says the Thunderhelm Lawachurl. Oh my god, yes. Oh, that is an annoying enemy to fight. Octira says, I find them annoying to fight. And they are just so giant. I want to set one loose on my enemies and watch the mayhem. Honestly, yeah, that's a very overpowered companion. Just because the sheer size, the power, yeah. I mean, I would want like some other ones that kind of match my teams better, but yeah, the Lawachurls are great. Then Sam says, Rishboland Tigers. They are cute and they're also tigers. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. We have the best answer right there. So yeah, a lot of interesting. We have a lot of interesting NPCs. We have a lot of really cool enemies. That sometimes enemies turn friends. Who knows? We may have like a friendly faction. Because in the game it exists where you can fight alongside NPCs. So perhaps that could be a thing later on.
After Sumeru, right? After when Rana was finally the first NPC we could fight alongside. I remember that.
You know what I wish? Like in that land, we could actually like find a dragon companion and tame it. That'll be like our permanent dragon pet. That'd be
We'll
great.
see what happens.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right, Kahi, would you like to introduce next week's question?
All right, and based off of our current discussion, next week's question we have, we talked a lot about Chiori and our likes and what we want to, how we would implement them in our teams. I'm just curious about what the community thinks. So we're curious, what do you like about Chiori, or how would you change her style? Would you change her combat? Would you change an ability somehow? Would you just put more damage? Would you increase a stat somehow? Yeah, so if you could change Chiori in any way, what would you change? Or what do you like about her? So yeah, tell us in the comments, tell us on Discord, tell us on X, Twitter. I can't call it X, just Twitter sounds better. So,
yeah, it's just Twitter.
Yeah, let us know.
Okay, so let's get into our last segment of the day, which is One Last Wish.
ワクワクする事件が間もなく起きる。そんな予感がするよ。
You are definitely ready. You have your pity built up, so I wouldn't be surprised if you got the gold.
I don't have pity built up. I just lost a
Oh
Diluc,
right,
remember?
you lost a Diluc. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was hoping.
So
I had hope.
all right, you go first, Kahi.
Okay, I know we're talking about Chiori. I gotta save
One
her for
pull?
Arlecchino. I will
One
do,
pull?
Okay, if I get her weapon, I will roll for Chiori. But I do need.
Oh dang! Okay,
I do
like
need
that.
the red horn because I have
Okay,
Noelle.
so
I
it's a win-win for
really
you.
want. It's a win-win either way. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing the weapon banner. Well, here we go. Incoming. It's below. I want
Of
gold.
course.
Dang it. Well, it's a claymore. It's a fairest shadow. All right, your turn.
Nice. Okay, here we go. And it's purple, and it's Yunjin.
Oh, congrats.
Okay, I mean better than nothing.
That's Yunshin. That's still good. Oh wait, do you have
Yeah,
C6?
and in on my NA account, no, it's C4.
Still good.
Yeah, so it's something. All right, well, hopefully I'll be able to get her soon in the next something or other time. But yeah, find out next time on Genshin Guys Podcast.
Oh,
Sorry,
rip,
that was a very
rip
old
Akira.
reference.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, okay.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that. One more.
No,
Okay.
no, for sure. Okay, so yeah, guys, that wraps up the show for today. Thanks for listening. If you have time, please leave us a comment and a review. We'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. Follow us on Twitter, once again, at Genshin Guys Pod. Follow me at JSide Gaming or twitch.tv/JSide, and Kahi on YouTube and Twitter at Kahiao, KahiyaO. And as always,
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
星と支援を目指せ!
Enjoy.